Well, believe it or not, they're starting to work on small fry football. Registration and things will be opening up very soon. Steve Bartmus is the president for life of small fry football, at least until he finds somebody else who wants to do the job. Good morning, Steve. Welcome back.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
All right. First of all, the very basics of the registration. It's online.
It is.
And how's it work?
All right. You go to helenasmallfry.com. Read through the thing. There's a registration tab there. Click on it and get your kid registered. It starts May 1st, runs through June 30th. There is an early bird,
bonus.
It only costs you $100 to sign up before June 15th, and then after June 15th, it costs you $125.
Okay.
Everything's pretty well self-explanatory out there. I mean, like I said, click on the tab and get your kids signed up. And we try to limit teams to 30 players per team, so the sooner you get your kids signed up, the more likely you'll be on your neighborhood team.
Okay, how does that work? The league is arranged geographically.
It is. It's by our school district boundaries, which probably will be changing here in the near future.
There's another whole can of worms that I don't really want to get into. Those poor folks are really working hard on that.
They are. Yeah. They have some huge decisions to make in the near future. But anyway, now...
So might your boundaries change? Well, at some point your boundaries will change.
Yeah, we're hit with the same thing they're hit with. The North Valley is growing fast, and we're ending up with a lot of kids out there. So, I mean, to be able to get on your team for the North Valley, you need to get signed up early.
Get there quickly.
And we try to keep the east side, west side thing going with Helen High, Capital High.
Sure.
So we have a west side division and an east side division in both our leagues, the junior division and senior division.
So if the school boundaries change over the summer, are your boundaries going to change?
Boy, that's a good question. We've actually been talking about it for the last couple of years, and the boundaries are ever changing, especially in town. Sometimes you end up with so many kids in one district as opposed to another district. You have to kind of massage things out a little bit and try to do the best you can. You're never going to make everybody happy by the boundaries that you put them in, but you do the best you can, and ultimately it's about kids playing football and getting to play football, and that's our main goal here. Let the kids have fun, experience the game, and go from there.
So the first however many are going to get their team, and then the second however many may be moved around a little bit.
Exactly, from each district.
From each district, it's going to move around a little bit. And you're trying to hold it at 30 kids. Have you been successful at that?
Well, yeah, we have. We've had to expand both the last 2 years. 2 years ago, we ended up with 2 extra teams in the senior division, making it 10 teams in the senior division and 10 teams in the junior division for a whole of 20 teams, obviously. And then this last year we ended up with 12 teams in the junior division and 8 teams in the senior division.
That population bump that the school folks are talking about.
Exactly. And that's where it just gets really tough each year, especially to find coaches and that. Everybody wants to coach in their own territory or coach their kid, and sometimes we have to, ask coaches to, hey, you mind moving over to this district and coaching this team?
Yeah, we'll touch on the difficulty of getting coaches in a little while. So it's basically first come, first serve. You're not looking, hey, he's a quarterback, we need him over here or something like that. This isn't the NFL draft or anything like that.
No, it's first come, first serve. We just sign kids up and try to get 30 kids per team and go from there. There's no, we try not to draft or anything like, well, we don't draft. Period. We just take who we get, and
here's
our
the list, and away you go.
Yeah, and our the way our website works, it numbers each person when they sign up, so we know what time, date, and everything. So we have a pretty good idea.
How do the divisions work? You've mentioned senior and junior. I think most folks would figure out the bigger kids are in the senior and the littler kids are in the junior. What's the dividing line, and how do you split that up?
The junior division is 5th and 6th graders, and the senior division is 7th and 8th graders, and that's basically it.
Is there any weight restriction? Some places around the country I've been, well, I remember in California, everybody would line up, you had a scale, and you did two things, one of which I will not mention on a family-owned radio station, but the other, I think you can figure it out. The other one was they would get on the scale with all their equipment, and we'd weigh them.
Right.
And it was like 20 minutes a team before every game. One of the officials have to go out and watch the weigh-ins. And if somebody had eaten too much that week, they didn't play. And that was not very pleasant because among all the other things we had to do as officials, we had to tell them, turn the jersey inside out. You can't play this week.
Right.
And then you get into losing weight and things like that, which is great fun. Any weight to...
Yes, there is. To be in a position to advance the ball, which is any receiver, running back, quarterback, you have to be in the junior division under 110 pounds and in the senior division under 150 pounds.
So you don't have somebody coming in at 220 running over somebody who's like I was at that age, 80 pounds, and
exactly
you end up getting bells rung and various other things.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So you line them out, you set them up, and you send them out to practice. When's practice going to start?
Practice starts on, I believe it's August 11th. I don't have that.
Okay, well, we can look at the calendar. We're going to take a break in a minute. We can look at the calendar, but somewhere around there.
August 11th, and we have 3 weeks of practice before the first games. And after the first week of practice, that's when we issue the equipment, and that's when the kids will be weighed for their positions too. So, and then the first Saturday in September, I believe, is the first game. So
1240 KBLL and Coffee Break. Small Fry football will continue. Talk about some concerns that parents are going to have about injuries and things. We'll talk about that as Coffee Break continues.
It's everybody's favorite sale. Murdoch's Ranch and Home Supplies Bucket Sale is this Saturday. Get 20% off everything that fits in a Murdoch's bucket. That's 20% off everything that fits in a Murdoch's bucket. If it doesn't fit, you still get 10% off. Plus, if you spend $50 or more, we'll give you the bucket for...
Oh, hey, sorry for butting in, but I just had to tell you one more thing about my favorite grocery store in town, Bob's Valley Market. First of all, it's a lot more than just a grocery store. It's got gas, a great deli, and its own coffee kiosk, Bob's Big Cup. But here's the best part. Bob's is the only place, yes, I said the only store in Helena where you can get tender, juicy Montana Valley ham every day of the year. Boy, do I love Montana Valley ham. I'm making a sandwich right now. Bob's Valley Market. If you want it, Bob's got it.
Finding that right employee who can seamlessly fit into your business can seem overwhelming, but A to Z Staffing Solutions can help. A to Z are experts in optimizing the hiring process by matching motivated, trustworthy employees with great companies. Let A to Z complete the initial interviews and check references. If you're seeking a new career, one that better matches your strengths and future goals, contact A to Z. A to Z is Montana's staffing solution. Find your employee, find your next career at atozmontana.com.
How's business these days? Looking for a location that's a little friendlier, a little trendier? Somewhere your customers already love to come? A place that captures the spirit of Helena in a sophisticated new setting? Look no further than the Great Northern Town Center. With thousands of tourists visiting each year and more than 1,400 professionals working here already, we've got the traffic you need to drive your success. Great Northern Town Center, the upside of downtown.
Buying or selling a home can be overwhelming, but the right realtor can make the process easier and more profitable for you. I'm Toby McDonald, a real estate broker certified as a residential specialist with advanced training and experience in marketing, negotiations, finance, and technology. Only 3% of realtors nationwide share this designation, and I'd like to put it to work for you. If you're looking for results that'll make you smile, give me a call and experience the 5-star difference. Toby McDonald, Century 21, 202-3272.
Choosing a plumber is an important part of any construction or remodeling project, and the choice will affect how your plumbing performs for years to come. This is Chris from Hampers Plumbing and Heating. Bring your plans, your questions, even your problems. We'll help sort it out and help you understand how your plumbing really works. You don't think about your plumbing every day, but we do. Let us help you get it done right. Hampers Plumbing and Heating. Call 442-6262. We give you the price up front so you don't get it in the end.
1240 KBLL and Coffee Break. Small fry football, the registration due to begin the early part of next month. Steve Bartmus is the president. All right. NFL, NHL, college football, they're all having concerns about concussions. And I know at the high school, the college and high school level, some rules. We as officials are getting trained on a yearly basis about concussions. You guys have to worry about that, but maybe not so much because you got smaller people.
We do. We have smaller people, but we still have to be concerned about it, and that's why we've teamed with USA Football and their Heads Up football program. One of our board members, Barney Spurlock, has gone through the player safety coordinator position, and he goes with all of our coaches and teaches them about player safety and what to look for in concussions and how proper tackling, proper blocking and all that. I mean, he's pretty good at it. He has to get recertified every year, and also Bill Bentley is he's our equipment manager, and it's gone from having equipment reconditioned every 10 years. It's down to 3 years now that you have to have equipment reconditioned.
And this is, you send it off to somebody. This isn't somebody here in town going, that looks good to me.
Exactly.
It goes through a considerable process.
Goes back to the manufacturer. They either chuck it or recondition it and then send it back to us. And
get it back up to new standards.
Exactly. And most of our equipment now, this has been going on the last 3-4 years, and most of our equipment is pretty well new, and it's great equipment. I mean, and the kids, we take it very seriously, the kids' health, and we want to see them have fun. I mean, that's the ultimate goal of the league, not to see somebody get hurt.
I know as high school official, what we do is, and you guys we use high school officials, and we'll get to that in a little bit too, maybe. You see signs or symptoms of a concussion as an official, take them over to the coach. Coach, we've got a concussion situation here, signs and symptoms. At that point, that player is done until he has been seen by a medical professional. Now, that could be any number of things. It doesn't have to be an MD. There are a few options there. But the player gets looked at by somebody before he can come back. So once he gets sent off, he's not coming back. There's not a get back in there and fight for old whomever. They're done until a doctor says they're okay.
Yeah, and that's how we're treating it too. Is if somebody has a problem and it looks like they have a concussion symptom, they're off, have to go to the doctor, have to get a doctor's release before we let them play again.
All right. Let us talk a little bit more about the organization of it. You mentioned coaches, and, I suppose a lot of coaches want to coach near to where they live, which makes sense, but that isn't always going to happen. Do you need coaches?
We do. We always need qualified coaches, and that's right now we have signed up 80 coaches for training through the USA Football website. So that'll be 20 head coaches and 3 assistant coaches that'll have to take the training online at USA Football. And we are always looking for qualified or not qualified coaches. I mean, ultimately,
you can train them.
Yes, we can train them, and they have to have a love for kids. I mean, it's 5 nights a week and Saturdays, the practices and games. So you got to love the kids you're with. And you know, I coached for almost 20 years, and it's so gratifying to see these kids and see what they're capable of, and it's fun to watch them.
Watch them go through the program and move on. I've been involved as an official and then broadcasting the last few years, and you see these kids come up junior and work through and senior, and now they're hitting the ones I'm aware of, hitting Capital and Helena High, and it's really quite something to watch.
It's fun. It's great. Go in the stands and watch these kids that you either coached against or coached playing and going for state titles, especially in Helena. So I mean, you know,
we're very lucky around here.
Yeah, and sometimes you're fortunate to see these kids go to college, and my son always wants to watch Matt Miller on TV.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I mean,
we all want to watch Matt Miller. Yeah.
So it's fun to see these kids that have come through the program have success and go on to college.
I should mention, for those on the internet who don't know, Matt Miller came through Small Fry, I assume.
Yes, he did.
And Helena Capital, and is now a rising star at Boise State and is being looked at very seriously by the NFL, and turned out character-wise pretty well.
Yeah, great kid.
That's putting it mildly. All right. What kind of screening do you put the coaches through?
Well, the coaches have to go through a background check.
Yeah.
First of all, and then they have to go on, like I said, USA Football
to the website and get
complete their tests and go from there.
Okay. What sorts of tests are they?
They just take you. They take you through the basics of football. I mean, there's so much good information out there. How to handle parents. How to treat officials. I mean, we go through all that, and it's a great training they have. There's so much online now for baseball, football, wrestling, whatever sport you want to go into. You can get trained, and there's a wealth of information there for you to use for your parent meetings, for everything. They're really great tools to use.
You mentioned the amount of time when we were just touching a little bit on the coaching. How often do they practice? How often do they play the various teams? And if you're thinking about coming out as a coach, this is going to take a little bit of time.
It is. It's the practices are generally 2 hours a night. Some coaches go from 5 to 7. Some go from 5:30 to 7:30. 5 nights a week. Fridays they usually do a pregame, so the practice is only an hour long, and then we try to get the kids to the high school games.
Get them out to Vidge. Yeah.
Exactly. And then the game day, you're looking at 3 hours. I mean, an hour beforehand to get the team ready to go, and then a hour-long game, and maybe a little over that. But
the games are Saturdays for the most part. There are some Monday games, I think, for the ones who aren't playing.
Yeah, there's
like I would have been. Yeah.
And that's it. That's a more the Saturday games run 9 o'clock to 10:30 and 10:30 to noon, and sometimes, depending on how many fields we have set up, we have a noontime game that'll get over at 1:30. But we've tried to eliminate that with having an extra field.
Keep adding teams and adding players. That may be something in the future that you have to do.
And we call them B games are just a great time for the kids that aren't really ready to hit yet. They're a little afraid. Coaches get to be out on the fields with them and instruct them as the game goes on. Yeah. And that's a huge opportunity for these kids to really learn about the game and learn how to hit and learn what they need to know.
I will throw in just a little plug for the officials. We work the officiating. You work it through the local high school pool, the MOA pool, the Helena Football Officials Association. But we don't have a lot of Saturdays. We've got guys out doing college and high school. We can't cover all of those games out of the high school pools. So you end up with Capitol High and Helena High players coming down.
Right.
And they do it. And I'm guessing maybe... What, you get parents involved in this sometime? What do you do when
we try not to. We try not to. On the A games, we have the high school kids come down. Both Tony Arnston and Coach Murphy have been great about coordinating that, the kids, and getting them to the games. Obviously, we pay the kids to come there. And
there's a little bit of money in it. Little is the operative word. Yeah.
And they do a good job because most of those kids have been through the program. They understand what it's about, and they understand, that these games mean the world to these kids. So, and they do a good job. When the MOAs are there, they work well with the kids. We always try to have the high school kids on their fields also, so they can help train these kids and just act as mentors for the high school kids.
I will throw out, if somebody's interested in football officiating, give me a call down here and I can refer you that way. Somebody wants to get into coaching, they can call you, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, they can call me.
Or go on the website.
They can go on the website. It's helenasmallfry.com and click on the coaches tab, and they'll see another tab right below the coaches tab saying coaches applications, I believe is what it says.
Something clever.
Yeah, like that. And click on that, and they can fill out their application and start the process.
And that is also where you go to register.
Exactly.
And that's starting up when again?
May 1st is when registration starts. You get the early bird discount by June 15th, and then after June 15th to June 30th is $125 is what it's going to cost you. So get signed up early. We will also do a physical sign-up sometime before the season starts.
Well,
I think it's end of July is when we're going to do that.
Well, let me know when, and we'll get that word out. Yeah.
I hope everyone gets signed up online. It makes it much easier to get the teams lined out and get the coaches with their rosters.
And again, the website is
helenasmallfry.com.
All right, Steve Bartmus. Hopefully everybody survives the season, and we'll see you at the end of the year broadcasting the Small Fry games.
All right.
We will take a break. When we come back, Head Start Extravaganza coming up.